Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Celebrity Diaries. Chuck Berry, an American artist, guitarist, and musician, holds a critical spot throughout the entire existence of rock. What's more, roll music, perceived as one of its trailblazers. Berry's impact resounds through the class advancement. His inheritance isn't simply melodic yet additionally monetary, with the total assets of $10 million at the season of his passing during the 1950s. Berry's notable hits like Maybelline, Roll Over Beethoven, and Johnny be great cut pathways for rock and moves extension, displaying his ability as both a performer and a lyricist. His effect was significant, procuring him the distinction of being one of the debut inductees into the Rowdy Corridor. Acclaim in 1986, brought into the world in 1926 in St. Louis, Missouri. Berry's initial life was set apart by a thriving interest in music. His first public execution, a brief look into his future fame, happened in 1941 while he was as yet an understudy at Seward Secondary School anyway. Berry's way to popularity was not without its diversions. In 1944, at the age of 18, he regarded himself as on some unacceptable side of the law captured for furnished burglary. Furthermore, Stupendous Burglary Auto. This prompted a spell at the halfway reformatory for young fellows at Aloa, close to Jefferson City, in spite of the limits of his detainment. Berry's energy for music shined brilliantly. It was during his time there that he shaped a singing group of four, maybe tracking down comfort and articulation through the tunes they made upon his delivery in 1947. Berry confronted the challenge of remaking his life to support himself and his family. He took on different unspecialized temp jobs in Holy Person. Lewis went from production line work to janitorial obligations, yet his adoration for music continued. He also tracked down valuable chances to perform with nearby groups while seeking after preparing as a cosmetologist at the Oro School of Cosmetology. Berry's huge break came when he started working together with piano player Johnny Johnson's threesome in 1953. Their association laid the foundation for Berry's unmistakable sound also. Style mixing components of blues cadence and blues and down-home music anyway. It was a vital second on November 12, 1955, that would change the course of Berry's vocation forever. A telephone call from his cousin, Marvin Berry, acquainted him with the arising sort of rock and roll, lighting an innovative flash that would characterize his heritage in 1955. While in Chicago, Berry ran into each other with blues legend Sloppy Waters, who recommended he reach out to Leonard Chess of Chess Records, following up on this guidance. Berry before long recorded a redid version of Ida Red, rebranding it as Maybelline. The track struck gold, selling more than 1 million duplicates and securing the #1 spot on Board's Mood. What's more, blues outlined Berry's series of wins gone on into the next year with Roll Over Beethoven, which topped at number 29 on the announcement Top 100 by and by of 1957. Berry ended up visiting the country close by any semblance of Amigo Holly and the Everly siblings all through the rest of the 10 years. Berry kept the catches up with coming and denting more than a dozen graphs. Beating singles eminent among these were works of art like School Days. Rowdy music, Johnny be great furthermore. Sweet minimal 16 anyway. In December of 1959, Berry was captured on charges of having sex with a 14-year-old server. He was sentenced in 1960 and condemned to 5 years in prison following an allure. He was given 3 years. He at last served 1 2 years and was delivered in 1963 as the 1950s attracted to a nearby Berry had immovably laid down a good foundation for himself as a significant star in any event, gracing the silver screen with appearances in movies, for example, Rock Rock and Go Johnny Go. In addition, he took steps towards social advancement by opening a racially coordinated dance club in Steelers Clot. See, by fiddling with land adventures following his delivery, Berry got back to performing and recording between 1964. What's more, 1965, he offered fans 8 singles highlighting hits, like No Specific Spot to Go You Won't Ever Can Tell. And then, changing into the late 1960s, Berry endorsed with Mercury Records and carried out 5 collections from 1966 to 1969. However, his studio endeavors during this period didn't take off to incredible levels his live exhibitions stayed at. Hot ticket drawing swarms at Remarkable settings like Focal Park and the Toronto Wild Restoration Celebration close by an effective visit in the UK in the early 1970s. Barry returned again to chess records, denoting a vital second in his vocation in 1972. He hit gold with a live interpretation of the fun-loving tune Mama Ding, Ailing, which took off to the highest point of the outlines, denoting his only #1 single the next year. Reelin' and Rockin' from a live recording scored as his last top 40 hit as the 10 years unfurled. Barry delivered a self-named collection in 1975 and circled back to Rocket under Echo Records in 1979, denoting his last studio collection for almost 40 years in the midst of his melodic interests. Barry confronted legitimate issues with the IRS, eventually conceding to government tax avoidance. His sentence included 4 months in prison and 1,000 hours of local area administration, which he satisfied through benefit shows. Keeping up with his obligation to music even notwithstanding affliction all through the 1980s, Barry kept a functioning visiting plan frequently joined by nearby groups at his different objections anyway. His vocation confronted debate in 1987 when he was blamed for attacking a lady at the Graham S.A. Park, lodging in New York, selecting to argue blameworthy to a decreased charge. He paid an ostensible fine. Another lawful obstacle arose in 1990 when Barry was entangled in a claim from a few ladies, charging that he had been subtly recording them with a bathroom camcorder, selecting an out-of-court settlement in a class activity suit. Barry explored through the following legitimate intricacies in a different occurrence. A police strike on his home uncovered unequivocal tapes, including ladies and a minor alongside an amount of weed, while charges of youngster misuse were dropped. Barry conceded culpability to medication ownership, coming about in a half-year suspended sentence and 2 years of probation from 1996 to 2004. Barry became an installation at Blueberry Slope, a prestigious cafe and bar in Holy Person, where he performed month to month. He likewise wandered across the Atlantic for a visit through Europe during this period, praising his 90th birthday in October 2016. Barry surprised fans with fresh insight about his impending studio collection. Hurl denoting his revisitation of the studio after almost 40 years prominently. The collection included commitments from his youngsters, Ingrid and Charles Jr., displaying a familial association with his melodic heritage. With every one of the victories described over, it's nothing unexpected to see him having a total assets of up to $10 million. However, tragically, since his passing, a few houses have been deserted without purchasers. The Chuck Berry House, arranged at 3137 Whittier Road in St. Louis, Missouri, remains as a demonstration of the tradition of American wild cymbal hurl. Barry, raised in 1910, this home rests inside the Greaterville neighborhood, a local area wrestling with monetary difficulties in the northern part of Steeles, notwithstanding its ongoing VY. The house saves the embodiment of Barry's time, flaunting unmistakable elements. For example, a patio emblazoned with a noticeable B for Barry spec settled in the midst of comparative homes, on a thin part, its red block outside. Save for an unobtrusive, substantial expansion at the back built by Barry in 1956, remains to a great extent unaltered. This expansion, created to oblige Barry's prospering family and his enthusiasm for music, alludes to the cozy association among space and imagination inside the unique design. Hardwood floors and mortar walls get through summoning reverberations of Barry's prime, while the kitchen went through remodels in the last part of the 1950s. Increments like a metal front entryway and window B. Barbecues reflect ensuing alterations eminently. Barry and his significant other occupied this house from 1950 to 1958, a vital period concurring with Barry's pinnacle imaginative result. Perceiving its importance, the Hurl Barry House procured a sought-after spot on the public register of notable spots in 2008. Uncommon differentiation for occupants, related with a remarkable person deserted house in Beverly Slopes. In 2004, Chuck Berry made a critical speculation when he bought a house in Beverly Slopes for $320,000. Quick forward to the present time, and this property is presently available for $2 million. Albeit the house has been sold ordinarily, the house is not yet viewed as a new proprietor traversing 2079 Skiff 2. The home flaunts 3 rooms and 2 restrooms, generally planned in the Spanish or rural style, settled in nearness to Cedars Sinai and regarded eateries. This property presents a tempting chance to make your optimal living space in one of Los Angeles' generally desired local areas, including a flexible floor plan. The home lays a strong preparation for a contemporary way of life. Embrace the appeal of the Spanish plan as you conceive the inside's change with the potential to resuscitate exemplary components like angled entryways and uncovered wooden pillars. Thanks for watching this video.